Well, if you are thinking of using Uber or Bolt today, you may have a problem. Drivers of the e-hailing services are striking. They allege they are being exploited and are demanding that the industry be regulated. Let's speak now to Vhatuka Mnelengwa, who is the spokesperson for Uber and Bolt drivers on strike today. Vhatuka, thank you so much for talking to me. So what is your strike all about today? What do you mean you are being exploited?
Thulasizwe, hi, thank you for having me. Look, a driver's position is that we need reform in industry. More and more vehicles are being added on the platforms. Pricing isn't changing. In fact, pricing is being reduced. We're not being consulted when it comes to matters of pricing, although it's our asset that administer these services.
So when you engage with the two platforms, Uber and Bolt, has there been some kind of engagement, and how far has that gone to raise some of the concerns you have?
So we have tried over several years to try and engage both organizations. And this has gone, our cries have fallen on deaf ears. We just finished having a meeting with a Bolt representative now, who then went on to confirm that they are unable to meet with us. And the stance of Bolt is very arrogant, you know. They're simply saying they have no interest in what we're saying. We're saying we want a safer platform for both drivers and users alike and riders alike. They are saying it's not their problem really. People can use the platform they want. We're saying we want pricing that makes sense, that doesn't put us into direct competition with the minibus taxi industry. They're not concerned with that, you know, because they don't have to pay for vehicles, they don't have to pay insurance, they don't have to maintain the cars.
So explain to us then the problem with the pricing model that's currently in place. You say it places you in direct competition with the minibus taxi industry, and I suppose the flip side is that you don't have the carrying volumes that the minibus taxi industry has, right? And what are the implications for you then in terms of your overheads?
So what this directly means, currently Bolt is trying to bring pricing down to R5.50 per kilometer. And for over the past few years, we've been saying R7.50 is too low where we've been at. So we've been saying to Bolt, this cannot make sense, right? So with Bolt continuing to then implement this R5.50 per kilometer charge, it simply means a local trip that somebody would take in a minibus taxi, that would cost him between 10 and 15 rand. They can get the same trip at the same price in a private vehicle, which doesn't make sense. You know, we can't sustain that. There is no transport provider right now that charges R5.50 per kilometer. And another thing to consider is that minibus taxis charge what is referred to as a compassionate fare. We are not charging a compassionate fare. I mean, if you look at the profits that Uber and Bolt pull from us on a monthly basis, there's no way we can justify this being a compassionate fare.
And just talk to me about the impact of the lockdown. I know that I've encountered a few of the e-hailing service providers who've been complaining about the impact of the lockdown, particularly in the early parts when there was severe restrictions on movement of people, that basically even the arrangements that you were told you could make with the financiers of the vehicles, well, they've come back to bite a lot of the drivers. Is that the case?
Look, currently, vehicle repossessions are at an all-time high within industry as a result of the impact of COVID-19. Those restrictions, I mean, because e-hailing is highly misunderstood and doesn't have a proper governing body within South Africa, there weren't even interventions that could come to our aid and support us. In fact, what we then get is Bolt reducing pricing, although we find ourselves in a situation where our vehicles are being repossessed. It shows a lack of consideration for us as drivers.
All right, thank you for sharing those insights with us. That's Vhatuka Mnelengwa, who speaks on behalf of the Uber and Bolt drivers who are on strike in Gauteng, Western Cape and the Free State.